If you've ever thought about visiting Ireland, a walking tour is an ideal way to experience an up-close and personal taste of the countryside, village life, and friendly interactions with the locals. There are numerous companies that specialize in walking, biking, kayaking, and horseback tours of Ireland, and the opportunity to traipse through a 16th century stone abbey, followed by an exploration of an ancient Norman castle, with evenings spent dining in local pubs enjoying a pint of Guinness, all accompanied by live Irish music, is a priceless and most memorable way to savor the country and its people. Go Ireland is one of the country's premier outdoor adventure companies that specializes in multi-day hiking packages that typically includes most all of your meals, overnight accommodations, walk guide, and transfers between the airport and your country inn. Come along and join us in the southwestern tip of Ireland in County Kerry as we visit with Frank Walsh, a walk guide with Go Ireland Walking Tours. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Tom. Good to talk to you.
You too. Give us an overview of Go Ireland Walking Tours.
Well, Go Ireland Walking Tours is based in the southwest of Ireland in County Kerry, in a little village called Killorglin. And they run hiking tours, mostly in County Kerry, but also in County Galway, for people of all ages really, but the walks usually consist of between 10 and 15 miles per day over the side roads and the by roads of County Kerry.
And if somebody isn't really a walker, you do have mild trips too, right? That might be 3-4 miles?
Yeah, we have a range of trips which suit the serious walker to the people who are just rather would take some footsteps rather than major hikes, so we can bring such people to areas of interest around the county, and they can just sample the walks really and take in the archaeology and the history and the folklore.
The number of days the average trip is?
A lot of our clients book in a week, which would mean 6 days walking with perhaps one free day in the middle, or a free half day sometimes just. Usually, yes, 6 days. There is the facility this year that you can just get on to Go Ireland and just join them up for 1 or even 2 days if you don't want to do the full week.
Tell us about typically where you put people overnight, where they stay. They're more country inns, aren't they?
Yeah, we generally book the country inns, sometimes in the villages themselves. We call those the town houses. Sometimes in the countryside, the country bed and breakfast houses, the rural bed and breakfast houses. Go Ireland has a central lodge itself in the village of Glenbay, near Rossbay Beach here. For some people, it's kind of an upmarket hostel really, suited for walkers. Some people base themselves there and do the hikes out of there. If people prefer to go to the hotel accommodation, we can also arrange that.
Typically, would most people fly in to Shannon Airport or Dublin?
Shannon has been number one for the last number of years, but we find that more people are moving on to Dublin and getting down to us here. Dublin is 3.5 to 4 hour journey by rail or by road down to Kerry. Rail is quite convenient. Shannon is a 2.5 hour bus transfer, and Go Ireland run its own transfers from Shannon. At the moment, I'd say it's equal between Shannon and Dublin.
Most of your tours are centered around County Kerry and the Ring of Kerry. Give us a word picture of where County Kerry is. This is the southwest tip of Ireland, right?
Yeah, right the southwest tip. If you look at the map of Ireland, sometimes we compare Ireland as like a little dog on its hind legs with its 2 paws stretched out. Well, the hind legs are the peninsulas of the southwest of Ireland. There are peninsulas jutting out into the Atlantic, 3 of them. The one is the most northerly one is the Dingle Peninsula. The central one is the Ring of Kerry Peninsula, and there's another one to the south called the Beara Peninsula.
Beyond that would be County Cork?
Yes, County Cork is just beyond that. Our neighbours, County Cork, and Cork City would be the biggest major town in our region.
This is one of the last remaining Gaelic areas, Gaelic speaking, true?
That's true, yeah. The tips of the peninsulas, especially the tip of the Dingle Peninsula, is a Gaelic-speaking region. We call these Gaeltacht areas, Gaeltacht meaning an Irish-speaking region. And the western tip of the Dingle Peninsula, the people in those small villages still speak Gaelic as an everyday language.
So you walking down the street, you might readily hear it?
You would, yes, back in little villages like Ventry and Ballyferreter and Murioch. The farmers and the local people and even the teenagers and the children, everyone speaking Irish. Of course, they can switch to English if they have to, using an Irish accent, of course, but they speak Irish among themselves, yes.
Give us a little history of Gaelic or Irish and where its roots generate from.
We see Irish we call the language Irish. It's a Gaelic language, very closely related to Scots Gaelic Also related to Welsh, the Welsh language in west of Britain, and Brittany in the northwest of France. These languages are related together. They are the descendants of the old Celtic language, which the Celts used back in the Iron Age, which is over 2,000 years ago, when they first spoke like that. So it's the remains of the Celtic language. In Ireland, it's Irish Gaelic. In Scotland, it's Scots Gaelic, and they're quite similar.
So you could readily communicate with somebody in Scotland in Gaelic?
Yes, I could understand a Scots Gaelic person, what he's saying. I could definitely read Scots Gaelic. There's a slight difference that the accent of Northern Ireland, in actual fact, is closer to the Scots Gaelic. In Southern Ireland, we tend to have broader vowels, so our accent is slightly different. But we could, yes, understand. If you speak slowly, you definitely would understand them.
But even today, the Irish English has very distinct colloquialisms and regionalisms. Like, for example, the sheepherder that we saw earlier today, I thought was from Glasgow. And you said, no, that's a classic Kerry accent. Tell us about that.
We speak English, first of all, with an Irish accent. You must remember that we were still speaking Irish right up till the end of the 1800s. And we use the sounds that are native to Irish when we are speaking English. So our vowel sounds are slightly different. As well, even within Ireland, there's quite a difference between the accent of, say, Belfast and Derry and Donegal in the north.
Could you tell somebody if they were from County Mayo?
Yes, I can, yeah. Once you live in Ireland, you learn to distinguish the different parts of the country. In Kerry, we roll the R a little bit. We're inclined to say SH instead of S. People say we have a kind of a sing-song accent. We go up and we go down, and the day is right and it's fine, and, so we kind of sing along, Dublin accent is different again. It's a kind of a flatter accent.
Tell us about the Ring of Kerry and some of the outstanding things to do right here in the Ring of Kerry.
Well, the Ring of Kerry is a journey around the peninsula, the central one of the three peninsulas. It begins, and the circle usually starts and finishes at Killarney. So to do the whole thing by road is 115 miles. And Killarney itself is a major attraction in itself, because the biggest national park in Ireland is right by Killarney, with its famous lakes and its Gappadunloe and its valleys. When you go west of Killarney, you pass through Killorglin, with the home of Puck Fair, back to Waterville and Derrynane. So from there around to Kenmare, which is at the head of Kenmare Bay, a beautiful little village. And the road from Kenmare then back into Killarney, the final leg of the journey, rises over Moll's Gap, where you get a panoramic view of all of the Kenmare Bay to the south and the Killarney Lakes Valley to the north. So it's a day-long journey, not to be done in a rush. Take your time is the general advice. And in addition then to that's the road journey, but we running inland from that, we have the hiking route around the Ring of Kerry, which we call the Kerry Way hiking route. And it takes the little old green roads, the unpaved roads which were used before motor transport became dominant in the present century. So
tell us about the butter roads in the Mass Path.
The butter roads were the old roads before the modern paved roads suitable for motorised vehicles were built. People journeyed from village to village to sell their produce at market, and one of the produces of the southwest obviously were a dairy and cattle region. The dairy butter was one way of raising money. You didn't have much money, but you sold the calf and you sold butter. So we call them the butter roads. People in those days went straight, if they went from one village to the next, they didn't go round the hills, they went over the saddles and the colls at the top of the hills. So these roads are still there.
And the Kerry Way follows some of the same paths?
Yes, the Kerry Way generally follows those. They're only suitable for people with hiking boots on. So we call them the butter roads, or sometimes we say the green roads.
Frank Walsh, thank you so much for sharing. This has been great.
It's been a pleasure, Tom, and great to have you back this year.
Me too. It's been a joy. We've been speaking with Frank Walsh, who's a school teacher and a walk guide for Go Ireland walking tours in County Kerry. For further information about Go Ireland's walking and cycling tours, log on to www.govisitireland.com. Or you may call toll-free from the U.S. at 1-800-721-4672. I'm your host, travel correspondent Tom Wilmer, reporting from Ross Bay in County Kerry, Ireland, for National Public Radio affiliates KCBX and KCBX HD1 serving San Luis Obispo County, and KSBX serving Santa Barbara County.